Hi, everyone, and welcome to the latest episode of the Startup Podcast. Today, I have a really exciting, really interesting guest for you, and it is Kandi Leigh. Kandi is a spiritual relationship healer. She's a certified Reiki master. I recently had Reiki done by Kandi, and it was phenomenal. Like, I just couldn't believe it. She's also a hypnotist, an intuitive energy reader, a spiritual coach, and she specializes in spiritual awakening and soulmates. So I'm really excited because Kandi's purpose is helping people find peace, joy, and balance within. And I think that's a beautiful, beautiful journey for all of us. And I think all of us need a bit more peace, joy, and balance, especially us female entrepreneurs, because we tend to run ourselves ragged. Kandi, I am so excited to have you here. Like, you're very welcome. I'm just absolutely delighted.
Thank you. I am so excited to be here with you and just see what all we get to talk about.
So, Kandi, tell us a little bit about you.
I'm Kandi. I started going through spiritual awakening really in 2014 as part of a health journey. My body did not feel good, and I was trying to figure out what was wrong with it, and doctors couldn't help me figure it out. And so I was finally led to a naturopath. Her background was in nursing and nutrition, but she uses an energy modality called muscle response testing to kind of find chemical imbalances within your body. And she found I was full of cadmium, lead, mercury, candida. We've done pesticides, like all kinds of just gunk, right, that my body was carrying. So as it started clearing out, I got that kind of started the process into spiritual awakening. Your physical vessel has to be lighter. And then my brother passed away from pancreatic cancer, and grief is one way to supercharge a spiritual awakening journey. You start questioning life, like, is this it? The life I was living was fine, but it was like suddenly I'm like, is this it? I feel like there's something missing, right? So I started questioning it. And then that's when some people would say crazy things started happening, things I didn't understand. And I was triggered into spiritual awakening. And once it starts, it doesn't stop. I actually reconnected to Reiki. I was originally connected to Reiki at 15. And then I just kind of went on my own way into college. And so I reconnected to Reiki. I was connected to my Reiki master teacher, and that first session, I felt like I was in a cocoon and like felt better than I'd felt since I can't remember when. And I just knew it was like, I've got to get recertified in Reiki 1. And then I was like, and now Reiki 2, and now Reiki master. And now I'm on the Reiki master teacher path. And because I just feel like Reiki benefits everyone with everything, because literally it's higher consciousness and energy and getting that to flow more and more through your body. And it's just magic starts happening, literal magic. Here I am.
Yeah. Well, before I go any further, I do want to acknowledge, like, I am apologetic for your loss and for your brother's transitioning. And I obviously would never let that go unmentioned. I have to say, like, I was very skeptical about Reiki. Like, I remember we had a conversation. I'd said I'd done tuning forks and different things before, and I was kind of like, Reiki schmooky, what is this? And then I couldn't believe how powerful it actually felt in my body. So for people who are less familiar with energetics and working with energy, what is a spiritual awakening even, and what is Reiki?
Okay, so let me just start by saying thank you for the condolences. My brother and I are still super energetically connected. And the more awake and aware I am, which I'll explain in a moment, the more he's with me. I see signs of him everywhere. He talks to me almost every day. So we're super connected. That's where a lot of the magic happens. So spiritual awakening is when you start processing life from a new awareness, a higher consciousness. It's literally like you learn something new and then you go back to kindergarten and reprocess your whole life. Okay. and then your psychic senses start opening up. So claircognizance, clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience. There's one, I can't remember what it's called, related to smell.
Clair smelling?
Can't remember. I'm going to start calling it that. I love it. So, and what that is it's like all energy. Everything has a frequency. Everything is energy. Everything has a frequency. So kind of like dogs can hear pitches the average human can't hear. When your psychic senses start opening up, you start tuning into energy that the average human body is not tuned in and aware of, right? Of course, as more of us do this, we'll become the new average. But so it's just the process of literally turning yourself on and awakening, understanding more and more and more and more, seeing energy beyond the physical reality of what's right in front of you. And that's how you literally start creating the future that you want. Because if you only tune into the 3D reality in front of you, that's all you're going to continue having, because you've got to allow it to morph and change. I mean, it's going to morph and change no matter what. But if you really want to be a creator instead of just I'm along for the ride kind of person, and then life can become unfair. That's where it becomes really beautiful to understand energy, right? So Reiki is all about energy flow through the body, and our energy, like who I am, is so much more than the energy I embody. There is much, much more to my energy, and I get to choose how much of it I embody. And then there's like fields outside of me, and Reiki just helps the energy flow and move through the body. It's like a massage on your insides, and learning and understanding more about who you are and why you operate the way you do.
Yeah. I am fully with you on that. Like, so many people live in their 3D world and they forget, it's not even that we forget. It's like no one ever told us that we are the co-creators of our universe, like that we manifest everything. We manifest 24/7. What we think, what we believe, how we nourish ourselves, it all creates a manifestation. So, this is one of the reasons why I was like, I loved my Reiki session, because quite quickly afterwards, I actually got one of my manifestations, or it came into fruition like pop. And it was funny because you mentioned my spiritual animal, my favorite spirit animal, in your notes. So I was like, holy bazangas, what is after happening to me? So, and I know we haven't had a chance to catch up, so this is probably the first time you're hearing that.
It is, and I'm like, I love it.
Yeah, come on, team energy. Yeah. I know that you work mostly within soulmates. What is the correlation between soulmates and receiving abundance?
Okay, so literally everything always boils back down to the relationship you have with yourself and self-love. Mm-hmm. So whether in your life's journey is all about what will help your soul expand and what tools are going to teach you, right? For me, relationships happen to be my greatest teacher. And so they're what I specialize in. They're what I understand the most. They're how I learn the most, right? For some people, wealth is their greatest teacher, right? And it's what they care about. But ultimately, it's all channeling back down to understanding your relationship with yourself and raising your own vibration, the energy you carry, bringing it up to a truer vibration in alignment with abundance, unconditional love, all the things we talk about. And unconditional love should never be confused with unselfish versus selfish love. Releasing conditions. Can I give an example real quick of something that unfolded for me recently?
Go for it.
Let me say, as you work on one thing, so health, wealth, abundance, love. As you work on one, you end up working on all of them. And then if any of them kind of get left behind, and what I mean by them is like the stories that live inside of us, right? If any of them start getting left behind, it's going to start coming up and being like, hey, I'm your trauma source at this point. You've got to work on me. So for me, wealth is that trauma source right now. So I'm working on my wealth story. And so I was thinking the other day about going to the mall with my daughter and how much fun we had the last time we did it. And that's not something we do very often. We don't shop much at all. And then I was thinking about debt, and it was like, I want to go to the mall more. Oh, well, when I'm out of debt, we'll be able to go to the mall more. And it's like, wait a minute, those two don't have to be connected. I can get out of debt and we can go to the mall more. And I release the condition of one having to be related to the other, because what happens then is if I create that condition, I will put myself in a situation to always carry debt and not be allowed to go to the mall because I'm telling myself we're not allowed to go to the mall yet. Or if I'm like, you know what? We live in an unlimited world. Of course we can go to the mall. Because I've still connected it to debt, guess what? That means I'm just going to keep creating more debt, right? You have to release the condition.
I am like, yeah, your wealth story. I very much work on wealth a lot of the time because that's probably my main focus. I'm very much like in the business mind all day, every day, as I'm sure you knew. But I'm very much like your wealth story is literally everything. So how can Reiki help in terms of business?
Oh, okay. So what it can do is Reiki is intention based, right? And so for a session, we create intentions. And so if someone's coming to me for help with their business, then we'll set intentions directly related to their business. If they want to fine tune it and be like, I need to set intentions to receive more clients, we can fine tune that. Otherwise, someone like me who's an intuitive, I will intuitively channel what their higher self and their guides are telling me is the highest priority, right? Because the highest priority is probably going to channel through the session no matter what. So based on the intentions, as I work on balancing out the energy and releasing stuck energy and any trapped emotions or anything that happens, I will see storylines connected to what may be blocking them from their clients. You know, I might start tuning into low self-worth, believing they're not good enough, you know, all the different stories we tell ourselves that block us from our clients. And especially, you know, again, that wealth story is always tied in. We don't charge our worth. And so that can actually create a stuck movement. If I'm working on self-worth, but I'm not charging my worth, the God, spirit, universe, creator, whatever words you want to use, cannot give you those clients because you're saying I'm worth more. And they're like, great, then charge more.
Yeah.
So we go through balancing out the body, balancing out the chakras. I do the left side and the right side for feminine energy and masculine energy. And it's amazing the stuff that comes through. So it will help start releasing any blocked emotions, beliefs, anything related to keeping your business from growing the way you want it to. And you'll get to learn more about what happens at that subconscious level that you're not even aware of goes on inside of you.
Yeah. I was kind of like skeptical. I've done energy work before and I was like, yeah, all right. Like I get it and I like it and I enjoy it. And I kind of felt like it'll be the same kind of experience. You know, I'll get I'll know it was done kind of thing, you know, like, oh yeah, like I'll feel lighter just by knowing I did it, like for self-care and whatever. I'm going to just share how I felt because I know I didn't really tell you very much about it. Kandi and I had scheduled my session for Saturday afternoon, I think. And we moved it a little bit earlier and I was busy cleaning the kitchen. I kind of forgot I was getting it done. And I was standing there, I was cleaning the end of the island. And suddenly I was like, whoo, what is going on in my head? I was like, my third eye was just like buzzing. It was vibrating. I was honestly like, holy Jesus, am I getting a migraine? And I was going, no, this doesn't feel like a migraine, but it actually felt like an opening. Like somebody was like scratching out like a little thing and going, hell yeah, how's it going in there? It was so strange. And later on, I was like, and I think I said it, I might have messaged you going, is that normal or not normal? And I was like, this is bizarre. But later on in the evening, I was sitting there and I was going, whew, I feel all like, bum, 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 bum in my chest, like, you know, like really like sort of vibrationally, not in a like, and neither of these feelings are in a negative way. They were just more like jittery excitement, kind of like, ba, 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 literally confetti happening, like spoo, spoo. And I was like, this is bizarre, because I still had kind of forgotten that the session was on. And then I got your email and I was like, oh my God, was that for the Reiki? Or did I drink too much coffee? And I was going, no, that's definitely from the Reiki. It was crazy. Is that normal?
Yes, absolutely. With Reiki, kind of like pregnancy, with Reiki, anything is normal. Because it's energy moving and flowing. And so, you know, it's so cool because doing a distance Reiki session, I always tell my clients, you can literally be doing anything. Some like to tune in and meditate because some are super aware and they can feel work happening. But you can be going about your day. You can be shopping. You can be sleeping. You can be working, whatever. And, you know, if you're tuned in, if you're an aware person, like you clearly were, you felt it happening. And then when you receive the email and you start reading it, you're going to energetically integrate even more of the work that happened. But it's going to keep integrating for a good couple days, week, just depending on the session, and your openness to it is really what supercharges it.
And it was funny, even though I was like, yeah, okay, like whatever beforehand, I was very open to it. I was kind of like, I'm into tarot, I'm into cards, I'm into my angel numbers, I'm into manifesting. Like, I'm okay with doing all this stuff. Like, I'll give it a red hot crack and see what happens. And I actually didn't read the email for like maybe 2 or 3 days. I was kind of going, I'll get to it. I need to print it out and read it. Because I was like, whoa. Like, I skimmed it and I was like, there's so much in it. Like, there's so much detail. There was a lot in it that I was like, wowzers, where is this coming from? Because you mentioned different sort of like elements from family that you definitely would never have known of. Like, there was no way you would have known that I had a step granny and stuff like that. And I was just like, how are you pulling that from my energy? And especially when there was a reference to like teddy bears, I was like, oh my God, how did she get that from my subconscious mind or my energy field? Like, what else is in there? What other pirate sort of thoughts are hanging out, like holding me back? But it was crazy how detailed it was. Like, good crazy, but it was like amazingly detailed, wasn't it?
Yeah. And that's normal for me. That's why people like sessions with me, because I can give that energy reading with it.
Like, it blew my mind. Like, it genuinely blew my mind. Now I'm fangirling on you. You're my new Taylor Swift. Like, the Taylor Swift of Reiki has happened.
Okay, wait. I need a banner for that. That's like, I don't know that anybody could say anything better to me.
Have you met Kandi? She's now Taylor Swift of Reiki. There was stuff that you mentioned, like seeing a whale in the burning candle wax. Do you remember at the end you burned a candle and then you were like, you got the word whale? Yeah. And I was like, that's nuts to me, because whales and buzzards are my two spirit animals. I used to always go, show me a whale today, or I'd ask a question, let me know, show me a whale. And they're the most majestic animal. When you said it, I was just like, oh my God. Like, I think I actually cried. I can feel myself getting emotional now, but it really like wowed me in like a big way. It answered the question that I'd been asking for an answer for so long. And then I was just like, did that fucking happen? Oh, am I in a fucking imaginary world right now? Like, where is this coming from? And then I actioned on it. So I took the leap of faith. And within a few days, I was like booked out with new clients. And I was like, holy shit. Kandi? Does she want to be on my team? Like, what's going on? It was wild. Totally amazing.
That is amazing. Wow. Wow. Amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, truly. I was like, I will keep saying, I was skeptical. Like, going in, I was like, I'm open to it, but I also am like, all right, yeah, cool. Like, but I couldn't believe it.
It cracks me up because people will be like, you know, what's Reiki like? What's a session like? And sometimes I'm just like, you just gotta experience it. You know, the people who have had sessions from me are much better at describing it than I am, right? Because the testimony of like that transformation is so powerful. And it's like, but how does it work? And I'm like, well, laws of energy. You want to talk physics? Right?
Like,
no, we don't want to talk physics. We want to talk about what happened and the fact that you saw a whale and manifested all these clients.
I had the most sparkliest eyes and still do, like, nearly, 5-6 weeks later. Like, I honestly I felt like somebody had turned up the brightness in life in general. And I don't know if it was just from the Reiki or having all this new information or...
No, I love that. Okay, so it's both. Reiki, you know, is literally channeling higher vibrational energy into your body. I'm just the conduit. It's not my energy. I'm receiving also by getting to do the session. So it's a gift to me too. So I'm literally channeling higher vibrational energy into your body. So what you feel is the contrast of the energy that's been in your body versus this higher vibrational energy. And, you know, we moved a lot of energy within your third eye. And, you know, you started embodying higher vibrations and, might start getting a little on the woo side, but like, you know, we've been living in this 3D reality, third dimensional vibrations. Earth is ascending into 5D vibrations, higher vibrations. And so where you're like, things are starting to look more saturated. That's more of that 5D awareness coming online where we're literally going to start seeing Earth differently.
It's unreal. Like, I know there's going to be people listening to this that are going, those two are cracked. Like, were they smoking something before they came on? Like, I can't even explain how different I feel. And even there was a small stuff like the tug of war between my masculine and feminine side definitely felt like an invitation to let go of some of that structure, to like back off. Because it's not just like, it's like a blueprint almost for, you know, healing.
I've started calling the emails almost more like a blueprint because it really, so much guidance comes through. It's not just here's what we healed. And I feel like that's what kind of we're nailing on what makes this a little bit different than other healing modalities is we're not just healing and releasing what's in the body. We're replacing it with higher vibrations of your energy. We're replacing it and then giving you guidance on how to use it and navigate with it because you've been used to operating over here in this energy. And now we're like, well, now you're in this energy. So here's how you need to operate now.
Yeah. Isn't it wild? On my well-being report, it was saying my masculine and feminine side were like siblings who were fighting. And I have siblings, so I bloody well know how to fight. And that they were kind of like almost like big brother, little sister getting a smackdown WWE style every so often. So Kandi, how important is it to balance the masculine and the feminine energy in our daily lives?
It's pretty important. We all carry some amount of masculine and feminine energy, and like if you identify as feminine, you're going to carry more feminine energy and more masculine energy. And in as much as it's important for those two to be balanced together, what's more important is based on whatever you're carrying, you can have wounded feminine energy and wounded masculine energy. So it's really about healing those and living in the higher vibrations of them and being as balanced as possible with the amount you carry. I will say it's funny because you were saying like, even my feminine energy, like acts masculine or whatever. And we women can have a hard time allowing ourselves to rest. We constantly need to be doing, we constantly are trying to, multitask, do several things at once, accomplish a lot at one time. And a message that's coming through more and more and more lately is we need to shift how we think of resting and realize that resting is also a type of work. It is actually doing something for you that is very positive. It's regenerating you. It's allowing messages from your higher self to flow through so that you don't just work in a way that keeps you stuck spinning your wheels in business. Okay. If I didn't take time to rest and really tune into my feminine energy, I would be adopting or still doing business practices that do not serve me or my business. And so
totally get that.
Rest can be extremely productive because then what it also does is allow you, once you do start actually actively producing again, you're going to get more done in a shorter amount of time. Yeah.
Is there a way that we can balance our masculine and feminine energy ourselves on a daily basis?
That's a beautiful question. Give me just a second. I don't think I've actually been asked that. I mean, balancing energy in general, but I haven't been asked about balancing the masculine versus the feminine. Actually, okay. Here's a little tool I'm going to teach because it will give the same effect. It's a little tool. So masculine energy is all about, analyzing, doing, logic, order, things like that. But it's also about safety and security. It provides a container for the feminine energy. If feminine energy did not have a container, it would be like free flowing water just going everywhere, right? Like if we're the water. And so here is a little tool that I have adopted recently to help. Like if a panic button gets set off, this is where I started it from, is like the fire alarm, or if you're out in public and you're a super empath and you're extremely sensitive to energy, you can get overwhelmed just going to the grocery store, right? So it's kind of a way to feel a sense of safety and then feel comforted. Okay. But I'm being shown you can keep it as simple as the intention of balancing out your energy. So it's super simple. You're going to love this. Take your right hand, which is your masculine energy, and just grab your left wrist and just kind of hold it tightly, maybe rub it a little bit if you need to. You'll know what you need in that moment. And that will kind of give yourself a sense of like safety, right? And then take your left hand, put it over the right wrist. And that's your feminine energy saying, I've got, I'm here, I'm comforting you, I'm nourishing you. And so it's literally like, you're safe and you're comforted, balancing the masculine and the feminine. Yeah. So that's so just nice. A quick little tool that we could use. Yeah.
That is a beautiful, very easy tool for everyone. Plus, it's also very discreet. Nobody's going to be like, what's that crazy person doing in the grocery store? I really love it. I have so many questions about Reiki. I have so many things that I'm like, I think because I was so blown away that I, have gone from being so skeptical to so open to it. How often should people consider having a Reiki session?
Oh, it really depends on the person and kind of how deep of a session we do. Because the energy needs time to integrate. And really all that happens is if you do Reiki, quote, too often, if you're paying a practitioner for it, like if you're already kind of balanced because I've just balanced you, you don't necessarily need me to balance you again, right? The very next day. I used to tell people monthly, but now energies are shifting so fast. Every 2 weeks, is actually really appropriate. Some of my clients come to me weekly. And so like on one week I do the full in depth. And then on the other one, I just kind of give a soft rebalance.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it really just depends on the person and where they are in their journey with it. But yeah, I say like approximately every 2 weeks is a really good kind of standard, depending on what all your intentions are.
For a session, like, I thought it was so convenient to be able to just continue on with my daily life whilst having my energy cleaned, balanced. I like, you know, whilst, and I didn't, you know, when I started to feel the buzziness in my third eye, I was like, I might sit down. I was like, this might be more than I thought, you know, it might be more of an experience than I gave credit to it, but it definitely wasn't an inconvenience. It was a very like non-intrusive, not time consuming, like a really nice, easy to add to your life sort of routine or experience. You know, it's very doable, isn't it?
Yeah, the distance Reiki definitely is. I do in-person sessions too, so clearly they have to be there. But yeah, but for the distance, that's what I love about it is you get to live life, and you still get to receive this magical gift and tool.
And then you get a well-being report, and the well-being report legit blows your mind. I love that you used cards at the ends of it. Like you had, is it the enchanted map?
Oh girl, I've got so many decks I can't even count, but but yeah, that was used in your session for sure.
I thought the cards at the end, it just added an extra layer of something to it, like something special to it, like you could almost get another sense of where you were going. Like, you know, you had all of this balancing and then all of this information about yourself, and then you get like these 3 cards that kind of give you the next clues to your life, or the next clues to what's coming. And I was like, this is fab. Do you always use cards in your sessions?
Unless for some reason your guides are like, nope, all the guidance has already been given, then yes, I do draw cards. It's all intuitively led through your higher self. And always, Reiki's intention is always to do no harm. So at the very worst, like nothing will happen, but at the very best, you're going to change your life. Right. And so, but it's just always very intuitively led as to what all happens. But typically, there's only been one session recently where they were like, okay, this session's a close. So we've already received everything. Cards won't add to it.
Look, it's just so interesting. And I know it's obviously one of those modalities that people will either not understand, but like accept for what it is and like give it a chance, or they'll just always have that veil of skepticism. I mean, I don't even think you could convince somebody who's skeptical, but what would you say to someone who is skeptical about Reiki?
Well, the first thing I say is, you know, there's so many energy modalities, so many healing modalities, you know, not all of them have to be for everybody. If Reiki's not for you, it's not for you. Totally understandable. But the next thing is, honestly, just try it. One of my teacher intern peers said that she finally said that to her aunt, and her aunt finally was like, okay. And was like, when can we do that again after, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I mean, like it can literally benefit anyone and everyone with anything, because energy is energy is energy.
I was the same. I was like, so when do I get it done again? When should I book in for another session? Like, this is like bizarre, and I'm so into it. And I know I kept saying I really need to let it marinate / integrate, but I was like, I don't know. I just felt so, and I still do feel so fresh from it, like younger, almost like a lighter. Do you know, you're not carrying all of the shit around with you. Yes. So it's really interesting.
Yeah.
You know, it's fascinating. honestly, I highly recommend trying Reiki. if you're skeptical like I was, definitely try it, because it was wild. It was wilder than I thought it was going to be. Like, I know that you mentioned before we came on live that you were interested in doing a collective session or a collective reading.
Yeah.
Are you still comfortable with that, Kandi?
Yeah, let me just take a moment, and it'll just be for the collective of whoever watches this, now or in the future. Just tuning into what is some guidance that might need some help balancing, and then I'm take a moment and just kind of balance it out and see if any further messages come through. So I'm just going to give me just a moment to kind of tune in. And since your niche is in business, I'm just going to ask for a message that will assist us related to business. I was guided to use the Soul's Journey lesson cards. Ooh. Regret. I know that I cannot change the past. What I love about this, here's the message that wants to come through, especially in business. I can't, oh God. They're having me use an example I don't even like, okay? I can't pop in. I've tried popping into people's DMs to connect, and it didn't work. So that's something I can't do in my business. Okay, first of all, forgive the aspect of you that did it and didn't work. But secondly, if you have been doing active work to shift your energy, change your mindset, change your beliefs, change the energy you're working with, be open to the fact that popping into someone's DM, especially if you're inspired to try to chat and connect with a certain person, might actually be exactly what is going to assist you in your business, because you are not the same person you were a week ago, and the conditions are not the same as a week ago, and it's not the same person. So that's the whole point. We just have to be open to kind of everything all the time. Okay, so let's just take a moment for you, me, and whoever's listening. Let's just take a moment, close our eyes. We're going to take 2 deep cleansing breaths. So breathe in all the way to your lower belly and blow out. Deep breath in. Blow out. I just want you to think of something you may be saying no to that kind of keeps coming to you as an idea. Maybe something you've done in the past in your business that you regret trying. Just throw it into the pot. And I'm just going to take a moment to release these regrets. I'm literally seeing them turn into a pot of gold. And again, just a reminder, it's all about inspired action. If your best friend tells you DMing worked and you have a reaction to it, a resistance, you're not meant to do it at this time. If you get 3 random messages suggesting you pop into DMs and you don't feel resistance to it, that is your inspired action. Take a step forward. Take that leap of faith. If you do still feel resistance, that's your cue to take a moment to tune in, find out why you have resistance, and see if you can release it. Or, of course, work with someone like me. So we just want to thank Spirit, Source, Creator, Universe for the abundance flowing in through the release of these regrets. Thank you. Just whenever you're ready, just come back. You felt that, didn't you?
That was beautiful. I really felt that. Yeah, definitely. Oh my God, that was beautiful. Kandi, I don't even know what to say. Like, I love talking to you. You are the most rad chick I've ever met. You are officially the Taylor Swift of Reiki. how can people find you or find out more about you?
Oh, beautiful. So I make it hard to not find me. I have I have a website, holisticwellbeingwithkandi.com. That is a great way to learn a little bit more about Reiki, and you can send me a message. You can set up a consultation so we can chat a little bit more about what you're experiencing, why you might be interested in it. You can find me on Instagram as the.kandi.leigh, and you can find me on Facebook as Kandi Leigh. And if you want to friend me on Facebook, feel free. I'm Kandi V as in Vanessa Leigh on Facebook.
I highly recommend following Kandi, getting in touch. I'm going to put all the links to your social media and website down below this episode. So wherever you're listening to it, go right down below and you will find all the details in the description. Kandi, I am honored. I'm honored on so many levels, and I'm also humbled by you. You are so gifted. You are such a blessing. Do you know, you're just one of those people that you're like, God, I could talk to you all day, and I kind of want to take you out for tea and scones. And then I also kind of just want you to do stuff to me, you know, like whatever you feel like doing, whatever the guides are saying. But you have a beautiful gift to the world. And I just think it's amazing. I just think you're amazing. But I also think your gift is just incredible, you know, really incredible. I'm a fangirl.
I'm humbled by everything you had to say, but your energy does the same thing. I'm like, I love chatting with you. We could probably just chat and have the best slumber party.
There is like a day in the future where Kandi and I are going to be drinking wine and having the chats in one of our back gardens. And I'm like dying for that day to happen. Yes. Kandi, thank you so much for joining us. I just am so blessed to have you on the podcast, and I just absolutely love you to bits. So thank you so much for being here. Please check Kandi out. Go to the description, get all of her links, because she'll change your world. She'll literally change your world.
Thank you. I am just deeply honored. Thank you.
No problem. Thanks everyone for listening.